Welcome all. Welcome all. Welcome all
to the Fantasy Shot Callers.
Welcome all to Fantasy Shot Callers Wednesday. I'm here, Ben Dunna, the number one stunner in the house with my boy JT Ric Flair, the Dynasty Don, if he deems it necessary. What is good? How we doing? How we feeling? And how we living?
I feel like Jets fans are gonna get a white Christmas.
I'm feeling like a white of the Mike Variety Christmas. December's tomorrow and Sunday's not gonna blow.
Yes, sir.
Is he streamable against the Vikings this week?
I think he'll finish as a QB1.
Oh, as a QB1.
Not
the
QB1.
QB1.
Whoa. Let's look. Hey, take it easy, huh? Take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy.
Take it easy. Yeah. I mean, no, you're saying?
No. Keep going.
No. I mean, as far as the Jets QB situation, Zach Wilson's relegated to a dynasty bye. I don't see. I don't know if he's an outright drop in a Superflex redraft league.
I did.
Well, I mean, hey, just because Mike White he'll have a good week this week. Minnesota can't stop anyone. We saw Mac Jones put up 20 plus points on them, and he doesn't have the weapons that Mike White does. They'll be indoors in Minnesota. I think it's going to be I think it's Mike White the rest of the year.
Heard that. What's up, Matt? How we doing? How we feeling? How we living? Is Dallas Goedert top 5 dynasty tight end in 23?
I mean, it's probably on the 5-6 range. I mean, let's just go through it. I mean, Kelsey and Andrews are the top 2. Of course, over a long 6 months, you'll start to hear again, is Kelsey done? We need to stop with that. Mm-hmm. Kelsey is number 1 until he's not. And we need to just leave it alone. But Kelsey, Andrews are the top 2. Then it gets kind of like shaky. I mean, I guess you go Kittle and Schultz maybe, but Schultz isn't signed. He's playing on a franchise tag this year.
I think they're kind of interchangeable, like you were saying last night on FFN Interactive. How their value is kind of the same. I mean, Dalton Schultz is a little more touchdown dependent, where George Kittle is more if he can get off those blocks, if they don't need him to block as much. So, we see, and then honestly, there's another guy with Hawkinson, who knows what happens with Adam Thielen going forward. After this season, he's already proven that he can be a quality tight end in that Kevin O'Connell offense. So, I mean, is Hawkinson top 5?
He's also due for an extension. I mean, a short answer, I guess, he's probably hovering around the 5 slot. Goddard is locked in on that contract. Hurts still hasn't been extended. The tight end spot is prevalent in Sirianni's system and Shane Steichen. I don't think we'll see much difference there, especially that they're 9-1, 10-1 right now. Mm-hmm. But I guess the question, you start to weigh in. There are 2 generational tight end prospects coming into the league. You got Mike Mayer coming out of Notre Dame. He might be. That guy might be a top 10 pick. We don't know. And then you have the kid from Georgia.
We all know what happens with top 10 pick tight ends.
Well, and I was going to say, then you have Kyle Pitts, which I know everybody's ready to write him off. And I was not part of the contingent that, thought that he was a first round startup pick. I thought that was ridiculous, even in tight end premium leagues. But here's the thing about it. Atlanta is going to get a quarterback some way, somehow there. I know you're a Ritter fan, but I think they start to become a destination spot. They will have probably a up top 16 draft pick. They can get another, offensive lineman or a position player there. And then that starts to open up. Hey, do we see a Aaron Rodgers go there? Hey, do we see a Jimmy Garoppolo go there? Hey, do we have these maybe Tannehill goes there? Maybe Tennessee moves on to Malik Willis. I think we're going to see a veteran quarterback in Atlanta. It'll be Arthur Smith's third year. He's going to need to win if he doesn't make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't write Pitts off. I'd probably go a little contrarian. I'd probably say I'd have Pitts over Goddard going into next season in Dynasty. So I guess by our metrics here, he's probably around the 5 slot. But you could argue that maybe he falls just outside it.
And I mean, so with Goddard falling out of the top 5 in Dynasty, I mean, so that Kyle Pitts is top 5. I mean, I really like that take. I don't think they go offense in the first round, Atlanta, because their defense can't. I'm sure if the Broncos played the Falcons, the Broncos would score a touchdown in the red zone. That's how bad their defense is.
Well, I disagree with you there. And, it's an offensive-minded head coach, and he's going into a make-or-break year in year 3. I know Arthur Blank's a little bit on the more patient and lenient side, but I see Atlanta more along the lines of they will go first-round offense and then the rest of their draft defense. Dean Pease runs a system there that he gets the most out of guys. And he has his generational. I don't know if AJ Terrell's generational, but he had in that defense, you need a shutdown corner that shadows guys. And they think they have that in Terrell. So I could see them kind of going defense the rest of the way. They're going to want to attract a generation. They might use that first round pick in a trade for a quarterback. Who knows? But Pitts' value has finally reached the point where I like it in Dynasty. And it's hard because Goddard himself hasn't been a model of health. You know what I mean? And
so that begs.
That doesn't even mention Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet needs to be.
Oh yeah. I mean, he needs, especially with the emergence of Justin Fields coming into play. But going forward, we all know that tight ends take 4 to 5 years to really get acclimated in the league. And because the coaches focus on their blocking to be able to, run an offense. And if that tight end learns the system, is able to actually catch the ball and isn't a big dum-dum and kind of can move through the seams, he's going to do well in whatever offense you got going, especially with, rookie quarterbacks. And so with Kyle Pitts, going forward, I mean, I do like your take. Obviously, we disagree on the first round pick, but we'll see where it goes. And I mean, Kyle Pitts, go buy him and put him on your damn IR right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Also, just to touch on, just because Goddard falls out of the top 5 in Dynasty tight ends doesn't mean he's not a buy or you shouldn't roster him. Tight end is so shallow that top 7, top 8 is probably more like other positions, top 5 moving forward. So,
Matt, thank you for the great top 5 debate we got going on right here. What's up, Gibberish? How we doing? How we feeling? How we living? Would you trade James Conner and McLaurin for Chase and Swift?
Wow. Woo. Wow, that's really tough. So
if you need a boom, fuck it, just do it.
That's so tough. You're gonna have Kingsbury coaching for his job here. I ultimately think he's gonna lose it. But
maybe what I was 1 week off because I said he would get fired this week, but it doesn't look like that's happening.
I don't think they'll do it when it's conducive for Hard Knocks, probably.
Fuckers.
Wow. I mean, it's just so tough because especially if we see Kingsbury get fired, I think that's actually a bump for Connor because I think Vance Joseph is going to want to like run the ball more.
He's in a must win.
Oh, wow. I don't know how you get away from Terry there, man. Because the great unknown is Chase, man. Chase is
Yeah. Who knows if he even
confirmed.
plays this week?
No, he's got a confirmed fractured hip. He could be
Yeah.
a decoy. They have other options there. That is a hell of a swing. My other running backs are
Kamara.
ETN.
I'm the king of mid wide receivers. Keenan, Evans, Higgins, and oh no, you're good. You're good. Higgins has had back to back 20+ point weeks. Evans is due for a bounce back game. Keenan Allen is just warming up. And
yeah, I like Keenan. I like Keenan a lot to close out the year in redraft, especially with Mike Williams being out. Right time of the year. He also has plus matchups, I think, moving forward.
Yeah. So
damn, that's really tough, though. I mean, Kamara. Yeah, there is a lot of boom bust there. I agree with you there. That's so tough.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me, not reading the comments.
Oh no, I was just talking. I was talking in general. There's so much there.
Boomer bust is just fantasy. Thanks.
What up, JL Con? Joe Lewis in the house.
If you're coming back or you're new, hit that like, hit that subscribe. It goes a lot further than you think. Thanks for joining us, and keep with these questions coming. So we are just discussing this trade, James Conner and Terry McLaurin for Chase and Swift. And so are we going to make a Judge Judy verdict, or am I not the father?
I probably don't make that trade.
Yeah, I agree.
And the reasoning is he has Higgins.
Yeah.
So then you're rostering Chase and Higgins, which look, I'm not someone who subscribes to, oh my God, I have two wide receivers from the same team. I have to break them up. Especially when you have a generational talent in Chase. Higgins is a beast on his own. But I mean, I think Connor probably outpoints Swift just because we don't know what the hell is going on in Detroit.
Luckily, Swift out fantasy pointed Jamal Williams last week.
And I think I think I mentioned it before. I think a lot of people freaked out about Swift's usage, thinking he was like the third RB on the depth chart. It was really just they had 2 games in 4 days. Wow, I think it's just, you already have Higgins. McLaurin is the number 1 guy there. I think Connor outpoints Swift the rest of the year. No, I don't make the trade.
No,
which is tough because I'm a big Chase and Swift guy. I like Swift a lot right now. His value has reached a point where it's like, oh, he's a buy.
Would you do James Conner for Swift straight up
in redraft?
Yeah.
If it's full PPR, I might. But if it's 0.5, no, I'd probably roll Connor the rest of the season.
Yeah. You'd think with a roster like that, I'd be putting up top dog points, but I have trouble reaching 130 every week, even with Burrow and Fields as my QBs. And why is that, Jeremy? Because Vegas.
What I miss? Think of the top dog. What? Oh,
because
Josh
it's been a defensive year.
Oh yeah. I completely blanked. I was lost in the sauce trying to figure out whether I'd go Connor or Swift.
AJ, it's already happened.
I don't know about that. I'm on a Netflix 7-day trial with the Jets right now.
Oh my God. It's gonna happen.
I'm still a Bills fan, but we're trending in the right direction. I don't think there's anything Mike White can do. I think the Jets need to make a move for a top dog QB, whether it's Rodgers or Lamar. Jetflix.
Lamar Jackson? in New
Lamar
York.
Jackson. Lamar Jackson to the Jets.
He gets signed by the Jets. I am buying a jersey that day in like every size and just hanging them up everywhere.
Yeah, you and like 10 million other Jets fans.
Yeah. Go Bills. Go Buffalo.
Bills. Go Bills.
Who y'all starting then? I have ETN and Kamara as lock starts, but I need 2 wide receivers and 2 flex. So, I mean, we'll see if ETN is going to play this week. So that's definitely something to look at. But let's see. I want to where's his my other RBs are Kamara, ETN, and Fournette. I'm the king of mid wide receiver. Keenan, Evans, Higgins, and Lave. So what do you say?
He has Connor and McLaurin. I mean, McLaurin's definitely starting.
Yeah, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. So we got Keenan and McLaurin.
I have Keenan definitely starting against Miami. I think there's going to be a lot of points there.
Mm-hmm.
Is Arizona on a bye?
Yeah, Arizona's on a bye.
Oh, that kind of changes things. Maybe, maybe you, if you need, and this is an absolute win. Maybe you. Now I understand making the move.
Yeah.
Because obviously we'd rather have Swift than Connor on the bye.
Yeah.
Who's Cincinnati's got Kansas City? Yeah, I guess with that, yeah, you kind of might have to make that move, and Kansas City, Cincinnati could be a high-scoring game. No, Washington's got the Giants this week. Wow, yeah, you might have to make that move, especially if it's a must-win situation. I think you got to make that move. Working it out.
So 2 wide receivers, Keenan, and so with that move, Keenan and Higgins.
I'd probably go to Vegas, look at the over-unders, and roll whoever has the highest over-under there. I think Keenan's definitely a lock for me there. Tampa's playing the Saints, right? I'm a little worried about Kamara there. I'd be a little concerned about Kamara there. ETN's coming off the injury, so Swift would definitely be a lock there. Definitely not going Fournette. Keenan is against Vegas. I'm thinking 1-2 game early. Still, Keenan's going to eat up the Raiders secondary.
Yeah.
So Keenan's still a lock there. They have Miami the following week. I
would just start all 4 of those wide receivers.
Yeah. I'd probably go in Swift and coin flip between Kamara and ETN. I mean, if ETN's healthy against Detroit, that has potential for a lot of points. They'll be indoors versus Kamara versus Tampa, historically good against the run. Fournette's not a thought to me. No. I guess Keenan, Chase, Higgins. Oh, you have Olave too. Ooh.
Yeah, to start all 4 wide receivers, and then
starting 4 wide receivers there.
Yeah. Jetflix and chill, love it. Lamar ain't going anywhere. I mean, they literally have Demarcus Robinson as their wide receiver 1. I think he's going to go somewhere.
They still have Bateman. I'm guessing they'll draft someone as well.
I mean, or they'll pull up Green Bay Packers. I'm assuming Ryan is a Bills fan.
I don't know.
Oh, don't do it to me. Selling Zach Wilson for whatever I can get. I mean,
no. I think he's definitely a hold right now. I don't think that he'll get another opportunity. Look, my advice I am all the way out. I think Zach Wilson is a terrible NFL starter. I don't believe I've been saying this since he's been drafted. I don't think he's it. And that has definitely bled into fantasy. There are people who are like, oh, he can run. I guess what you're looking for out of I think Zach Wilson's best case scenario would be putting up Ryan Tannehill like numbers. That to me would be his best case scenario. Putting
6 years down the road.
Putting up 300 to 400 rushing yards. He's going to throw 25 TDs. That to me would be his best case scenario. And him and Tannehill actually have pretty similar athletic profiles. People forget Tannehill was he was a scholarship wide receiver at A&M before switching to quarterback. But I just don't think. I think Zach Wilson is just. I don't think he's it. I don't think he's that guy. I think he's a bust, and that's the train I'm on. In terms of what does the market say, I would say you should be able to get a late 1 for him right now. Maybe an early 2. I just own none of him, so it's hard for me to say like what should you do with him. I hated the guy. I don't think you should ever sell anyone for whatever you can get. I see him as a package sweetener to get a quality starter right now. Like if I'm in a playoff race and I have Zach Wilson and someone offered me Kirk Cousins for him, smash. Who's another guy I'd probably smash him for?
Aaron Rodgers.
I would take the chance on Rodgers, hoping that he gets out of Green Bay next year, or if I need points now.
Derek Carr.
That's where it gets dicey. I do think Derek Carr has a better chance of being a starting quarterback next year than Zach Wilson. And it sounds crazy to say. I know Derek Carr's contract situation. He can be cut next year.
Jared Goff.
No. I'm not going down. I'm not going down to Goff level. Cousins, Carr, solid QB2 numbers. That's what I would probably smash sell him for.
Cool. So he has Hasty, I guess, for if ETN is out by emergency. That's good.
I think the guy that you should try to target for Zach Wilson is Russell Wilson.
That's good.
I think that's who I would target.
Mm-hmm. Washington is week 14. Keenan versus Raiders.
Raiders this week. I thought he had the Dolphins. Maybe.
Wide receiver 1 is Ricard. That's hilarious. That's great.
He's not wrong.
I think I'm just saying we have the power to franchise him.
Is that young Flacco? Ryan, are you young Flacco? If you are, what up, baby?
Unless Jets part with a Russ Plus package, which Jets can't afford, Ravens aren't moving him. He's on a contract here.
Well, they could franchise tag him. Lamar is basically kind of locked for the next 2 years. But we've seen more and more the player empowerment movement. He does not have an agent. His mom is his agent. If he holds out, I can't imagine. I think Bisciotti is the type of owner where it's like if you're holding out, you don't want to be here. Mm-hmm. He'll get him out of there. To quote Mike Tomlin, I know it's weird quoting the Steelers head coach for a Ravens situation, but we want volunteers. And I think the Ravens subscribe to that kind of philosophy. They want volunteers, not hostages. So it's definitely I would put it at about 3% chance Lamar goes to the Jets.
All right. Well, Jets fans, you heard it here first. It's a 10% chance because Jets fans always exaggerate everything.
They should have just listened to Larry David. Larry David went on the Rich Eisen show and said he was trying to tell Woody or Chris Johnson to take Lamar. Yeah.
DPJ or Thielen and Kamara or Rashad, both full PPR. Thanks. I am going with DPJ and Rashad.
Is that a trade or is that
start?
Oh, okay. I mean, if that's the start, yeah, I'm rolling. Definitely DPJ against Houston. I think Cooper will see a lot of Stingley there. I don't want Thielen against the Jets. That's the Jets defense is probably terrifying there. Then it comes down to Kamara versus Rashad.
Vita Vea's out, right?
I don't know. Is he?
And didn't Tristan Wirfs go down with an injury too last week?
Yeah, Wirfs is a big loss there, but the gosh darn Bucks throw the ball 50 times a game.
I like Rashad White again. I had that question
yeah.
a lot in my DMs, and like some people that aren't even on Instagram texted me, asked me about it, and I went with Rashad last week, and I think I'll stick with him again.
Yeah, I'll probably roll White there. Yeah. I hope he'll get 5 catches.
Well, he got 9 last week, so
Yeah. It was. It's not a good injury. I mean, it wasn't the worst case scenario, but it's not good.
Snap takes on the free agent running back class. Stay or see ya. Stay, bye, and stay.
I mean, I think I don't see how the Giants can get rid of Saquon. I think he's more likely to be traded than just outright gone. I also think he's more likely to stay than Daniel Jones. Josh Jacobs. It's going to be hard to see him leaving after this. I think you'll lose the fan base with that. So I could envision him staying on a 2-year.
I totally read that wrong. I thought we were talking about dynasty. Just we're talking about like just actual NFL. Okay.
I'm reading it as these are free agents this
year.
Yeah.
No, you read it right.
Aaron Jones, I think, will be tied to Aaron Rodgers, and based on Green Bay's philosophy, I don't think he'll be a Packer next year. But with his last foray into going into contract negotiations, he was incredibly loyal to the Packers. So I don't know if that'll stay. I hope it doesn't. I hope to see Aaron Jones in a better offense. I don't think Montgomery stays. Herbert proved capable. And I don't think Sanders stays.
Really?
No, I don't think so. I think, Sirianni is more on the lines of I can put any guy in there. And we're starting to see that with how they're rotating their running backs. Jalen Hurts is the most important piece to that run game, not Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Got to run, but think we see a lot more people punting RBs in startup season. Hashtag RBs don't matter.
Short answer, yes. And now I'm realizing that's Hammy. Another my boy Hammy. I think that's starting to become a really prevalent strategy that people love, but I'm not a fan of it personally, at least to the extreme of where I'm going 10 rounds without drafting a running back.
I think that's a little excessive.
I think that's Hammy's style. So as far as, I think things are cyclical, and if you're consistently doing things that would have worked the year before, you're going to lose.
What level of running back would you give up for Treylon Burks in redraft and dynasty?
Well, I think the immediate answer in both redraft and dynasty would be like Alvin Kamara. That's the name that kind of like pops out to me. I don't think Kamara will be a Saint next year, so I guess that kind of factors in. That's
you think they're going to go for full rebuild?
I don't think they have a choice. I think this was. I don't think they have a choice. They traded their first rounder next year. I think they're going to try to recoup that in some way. I think Kamara ends up an Eagle, to be honest with you. But
because of the midseason chatter,
I don't think that. I think where there's smoke, there's fire there. So I could see that happening. But also,
man, it's coming.
I think the flip side with that is, where does Sean Payton end up, and does Alvin Kamara? I don't know. Maybe Kamara likes Sean Payton enough to follow him where he goes. Who knows? I think that's a variable there. But Kamara is the snap name that I think of that I would give up for Burks and redraft and dynasty. Fournette, being another one, but I don't know if anyone would sell Burks for Fournette right now. That'd be crazy. If I'm out of the hunt and I'm holding Josh Jacobs, I probably would sell him for Burks. See if I could get like a late second attached to it. Basically a running
you
any
could get.
running back.
I mean, I think you could get a first round and Traylon Burks for Josh Jacobs right now.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It's a worthy game try, especially after he just had 300 scrimmage yards. But if you're in a league of sharps, I think everybody knows he's not going to put up 300 yards a week.
Yeah, very true. So like this just in, April 6th, 2023, Alvin Kamara and Sean Payton signed with the Denver Broncos, and now Javonte Williams is even more fucked.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on that train where it's like I don't even want to buy Javonte, even if I was in a rebuilding situation. It's tough. He's in a tough spot.
Speaking of tough spots, we help you not to be, so hit that like, and if you're new, hit that subscribe, and keep coming back, y'all. What's up, Fab Rocks? How we doing? How we feeling? How we living? Start Devontae Smith, Zay Jones, Swift, or Jamal Williams. I know Devontae, I think he had either a limited or didn't practice today. So it could be rest. It could be something more serious. Zay Jones is also questionable. Start one. Like I was talking about last night, Baltimore is horrendous against slot wide receivers, so temper your expectations going forward with Zay Jones. Looks for them to get Christian Kirk reacclimated, but I don't know.
I'd have to see who Detroit's going to throw at Zay Jones. If it's Okudah, I'm probably Xing out Zay Jones a little bit there, but I expect points in that game. It's going to be indoors. Excuse me. I think both offenses are operating at a level that they could score on each other pretty easily. I guess it's Swift or Jones for me right now, and I'm having a hard time getting that cute starting Zay Jones over DeAndre Swift. I probably roll Swift there.
Yeah, same. Were you guys taking Tua next year in redraft single quarterback?
I'm a double digits QB guy, so
I'd probably if I were to take a quarterback earlier, I'd probably say, Lamar Jackson range, like 4th, 5th round. If I were to take like where his I'm more on the JT side. Like Jalen Hurts was mine, 7th round. Probably I drafted Lamar in one league, but it was really either Jalen or number. Let's say rank.
I think he's a top 8 quarterback next year.
Yeah, I agree. QB 6-ish.
I would say he's probably the guy that I want the most in the bottom half of QB rankings, just because I think we'll see him be a little skewed. Just because he's has 8 complete games this year. Now, where it gets a little, I think this is going to be a good litmus test for him, seeing him play San Francisco on the road, and also Miami's going to have a tougher schedule next year by virtue of, and that's me assuming they're going to make the playoffs. They could still win the division, especially if they win the division, you get harder schedules. Also, he's got to get paid soon. So, this is his peak? Is this not? But as long as he's got Hill and Waddle, I think he's going to be a QB1 pretty comfortably.
And that begs the question is now, does Kyler Murray's stock decrease to later rounds?
I've been off the Kyler train for a while.
Yeah, I've never been really on it.
Definitely 2 is ahead of him for me right now. Although, and here's a big although, let's throw a big wrench here. I was watching Sean Payton's interview on Cowherd, and you could just read that he's going to coach next year. I thought by his body language, and he was very, very happy to drop the nugget that he used to be a Cardinals ball boy in St. Louis. And given that we know Kingsbury probably will not be there next year, that makes things interesting in my mind.
It really does.
So, yeah, Tua. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Tua was a top 5 quarterback next year, and that's based on having McDaniel, Hill, Waddle, and Taron Armstead at left tackle.
And no concussions.
And
Browns.
well, I mean, the other part about it is that he's got a massive home field advantage, and if he has home games in come playoff time, that's a massive advantage for fantasy. Playing in warm weather or a dome in December, that's a massive advantage.
Yeah. Huge. Absolutely huge. Browns or Commanders defense? I'm going Browns this week.
Browns have Houston. Commanders have the Giants. Yeah, definitely the Browns. 100%. 100%.
100%. So when do we think Chase Young comes back?
He didn't come back already?
No. And he may not come back this week either.
I can see him coming back for the divisional slate, but I think he's going to probably be in more of a situational pass rushing capacity rather than coming back and playing 90% of snaps.
Yeah. If Peyton doesn't go to Cincy, I don't want it. I mean, I do, but I'll stew for a minute and sell the farm for Hasbulla. Well, I don't think Zach Taylor's going anywhere.
If they make the playoffs, it's going to be really hard to get rid of Zach Taylor. But I thought Sean Payton's open comments about ownership kind of like eliminate Cincinnati. But hey, man, Joe Burrow with Sean Payton operating the controls. That vaults Burrow up the ranks for me.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. I'm out of playoffs and I'm already doing mock drafts for the next year.
Dynasty. Start looking at Dynasty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
this is my favorite time of the year to do Dynasty startups because you can get so much value and crazy valuations. It's literally my favorite time of the year. So something to look forward to.
100%. You get any eat shit or dies this week?
Yeah, you.
I didn't formally send that though. That's why I texted you.
Yeah, I almost went on strike for this week for this Shot Callers episode.
No, you don't. You can't get enough. You can't stay away.
Rake London and a first-round pick for Keenan Allen and Latavius Murray.
Mm-hmm. You want to win, don't you? Randy's asking, you're saying start a dynasty league now?
Yeah, find a startup. They're out there. There's people. This is the perfect time. People are itching. They just got knocked out of playoffs. My best recommendation for doing a dynasty league right now, though, is you want to amass as many picks as you can. You want to play the future game because that's where things will accrue value. And you'll see where you're at come September. It's a long season. Sleepers come out of nowhere. It's a great time. I enjoy it, and you could get crazy valuations right now. Like I saw Jonathan Taylor go at the 212. That's bananas to me in a startup. As in, Jonathan Taylor is the 24th player off the board in a dynasty full PPR format. That's crazy to me.
Is that how you do math? 2 times 12 is 24?
Yeah, I have to help out all my Jets fans that prep that.
What? Huh? Cool story, bro.
But yeah, no. It's it's a great time, especially where you have guys like angry about the season and you stay calm, cool, and collected. You can build a really, really strong team this time of the year.
And this just in, Aaron Rodgers would have open mind, quote unquote, if Packers wanted to start Jordan Love to finish the season.
Oh, yeah. He talked about that on the McAfee show. I mean, what else is he going to say? He can't come off bitter. Also kind of insulates him from the failure of the season. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, this is again, my thoughts on the Packers front office are known. I think Gutekunst is the worst GM. That's the worst GM job I've seen. So
pretty bad.
I'm sure there's worse people will be like, oh, they won 13 wins. Yeah, but the only first round pick that Aaron Rodgers has thrown a touchdown pass to is Mercedes Lewis. And Mercedes Lewis got drafted when me and you were in high school.
Yeah.
The fuck you doing?
Hey, what you doing, huh?
Right?
Huh?
Out of here.
What are you doing? Start 2 and flex 1. Lamb, Amon-Ra, Kirk, and Higgins.
Amon-Ra is the automatic there for me, especially against the Jaguars secondary. Cowboys have the Colts.
Yeah.
That's kind of a sneaky, tough pass defense. Not enough that I would say, like, you can't start Lamb. But what I'm thinking there is that could turn into the Cowboys are up 24-0 and CD's out by halftime.
So it's like Okudah or Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, but Gilmore doesn't shadow. I think you got to start Amon-Ra and Higgins, and I have a hard time starting Christian Kirk over CD Lamb. That feels a little too cute, but
so we're going with Okudah.
I probably roll Lamb, Amon-Ra, and Higgins. That's probably where I'm rolling.
We feeling Zon Knight as a flex rest of the season. Schedule isn't bad. I believe you pronounce his name wrong. It's James Robinson.
Yeah, I think the Jets running back situation is the new Shanahan. I don't know.
Welcome to the 49ers. We get injured here too.
I think they took the title from the Niners, where it's like, we don't know who the fuck's going to get the carries. I have no idea. I can't even. I think he's a nice speculative ad, but I'm not going crazy about them rolling that way against the Bears. I mean, the Bears probably.
Bears. They lost everyone.
Yeah, they traded away Roquan Smith, and I don't think I'm starting him over guys that I drafted in the first 8 to 10 rounds right now.
Yeah, and I mean, the Bears defense as a collective was like, you've taken everything from me, and Knight was like, I don't even know who you are. Get it?
Yeah, I got you.
Good.
Well done.
Thank you. I'll be here for the next couple minutes.
Scarlet Witch and Thanos action.
Yeah, oh baby. Alrighty. Well, any other eat shit and dies?
I don't know. You have to send me a trade offer.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second.
In a Devy league, I sent Trevor Lawrence and a Devy round 2 pick for Eckler and Devontae Smith. A little bit risky shipping off Trevor Lawrence, but I'm basically all in there. So picking up Eckler and Smith. Devy picks aren't really – people like to say they're not worth anything, but I wouldn't go that far. I think they're worth something. You got a eat shit and die that you want to know about?
I'm looking. Yeah, I mean it's more of a crack kills. I think offering me Jalen Tolbert for James Robinson.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tolbert, his hype died as soon as week 1 hit.
Noah the Goat Brown.
Yeah. I think the bigger question, I think this is the biggest question moving forward, especially in superflex leagues, especially redraft superflex leagues, is where do we value Watson right now? Where do we think he's going to rank? And I think to have him come back, I mean, the last full season he played, he was QB1. And I think people really forget that this guy was QB1 the last time he played.
They also said the same thing about Michael Thomas.
Yeah, but one was out for injury, and I don't think Deshaun has any.
He was injured, all right.
Might have a calloused hand.
Baby girl.
But I think, we're going to know real quick. And him coming back in Houston, probably the worst defense in the league, going to get an inspired effort from the Texans. But we're looking at an offense that Jacoby Brissett did put up numbers. And, and from a fantasy standpoint, he kept them in the race. They just beat Tampa. So I think Watson is one of the bigger wild cards right now, especially in superflex leagues. And I would say I think he's going to finish with a QB1 week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Might be QB12. Might be QB12.
Holy shit. Well, that's a great note to end it on. Deshaun Watson, QB12. You heard it here first. Yep. Thank you all so much for joining. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Fantasy is life. Come on, y'all. You know it's a vibe. We'll see you next week, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern.